Every night the sky performs a quiet illusion. Tiny points of light shimmer like distant candles, while others glow steadily, almost stubbornly refusing to flicker. It feels random at first, like the universe deciding which lights should sparkle and which should not. But that difference isn't random at all. It's a clue about distance, light, and the invisible ocean of air surrounding our planet. So why do stars twinkle, but planets don't? The answer has very little to do with the stars or planets changing in space, and everything to do with what happens to their light in the final instant before it reaches your eyes. Let's take a closer look at what's really going on, right here, on History of Simple Things. When starlight reaches Earth, it has already traveled for years, sometimes centuries, across the vacuum of space. But in the last fraction of a second, it encounters something turbulent: Earth's atmosphere. Our atmosphere is not a smooth, uniform layer. It is made of moving pockets of air with different temperatures and densities. Warm air rises, cool air sinks, and winds constantly shift these layers around. Because light bends or refracts when it passes through materials of different densities, these shifting air pockets act like constantly moving lenses. As starlight passes through them, its path bends slightly in different directions. To an observer on the ground, this rapid bending makes the star appear to shift position and change brightness, creating the twinkling effect known scientifically as astronomical scintillation. The key reason stars twinkle so noticeably is that they are incredibly far away. Even the closest star beyond our Sun, Proxima Centauri, is over 4 light-years away. At such distances, stars appear as point sources of light. That means, through the naked eye and even many telescopes, they are effectively single tiny dots with no visible surface area. Because their light arrives from such a precise, narrow direction, even small atmospheric distortions can significantly shift or scatter that light. There is no broader disk of light to average out these fluctuations. As a result, any tiny atmospheric change can cause noticeable variations in brightness and position, making the star seem to flicker. Planets, by contrast, are much closer to Earth and appear as small disks rather than perfect points of light. Even though they may still look like bright dots to the naked eye, they have measurable angular sizes. For example, Mars and Jupiter both present small but detectable disks when viewed through a modest telescope. Because their light comes from slightly different points across that disk, atmospheric distortions affect each part a little differently. These variations tend to cancel each other out. While one edge of the planet's disk may momentarily dim or shift due to turbulence, another part may brighten. The combined effect averages into a steadier overall glow, which is why planets usually shine more consistently than stars. The atmosphere structure plays a major role in how strong twinkling appears. Most of the distortion happens in the troposphere, the lowest layer of the atmosphere, where weather occurs and where temperature differences are greatest. Higher layers, such as the stratosphere, can also contribute, especially when strong winds are present at high altitudes. The more turbulent the air, the more pronounced the twinkling. This is why stars tend to twinkle more when they are low on the horizon. When a star is near the horizon, its light must pass through a thicker slice of the atmosphere compared to when it is overhead. The longer path means more opportunities for refraction and distortion, increasing the shimmering effect. If you observe a bright star carefully, you might notice not just changes in brightness, but also subtle shifts in color. This happens because different wavelengths of light bend by slightly different amounts when passing through the atmosphere, a process called dispersion. As turbulence shifts the light's path, it can momentarily favor certain wavelengths over others, causing quick flashes of red, blue, or white. Bright stars like Sirius are especially known for dramatic twinkling and color changes when viewed from lower altitudes. Planets can still experience minor atmospheric distortion, but because of their disk-like appearance, these color fluctuations are far less noticeable to the human eye. Astronomers are well aware of atmospheric distortion, which is why major observatories are often built at high elevations where the air is thinner and more stable. Locations like Mauna Kea provide clearer, steadier views of the sky. Even so, ground-based telescopes still contend with some degree of scintillation. To overcome this, modern observatories use adaptive optic systems that measure atmospheric distortion in real time and adjust mirrors to compensate. The ultimate solution, however, is to observe from space. Telescopes like the Hubble Space Telescope orbit above the atmosphere entirely, eliminating twinkling and allowing stars and planets to appear sharp and stable. Stars do not actually twinkle because they are unstable or flickering in space. The shimmering effect is created by Earth's restless atmosphere bending their light as it travels toward us. Because stars are so distant, they appear as single points of light, making them especially vulnerable to even tiny distortions. Planets, being much closer, present small disks whose light averages out atmospheric turbulence, giving them a steadier glow. The next time you look up and notice a bright object shining without much flicker, you may well be looking at a planet. And when you see a star sparkling against the dark sky, you are witnessing the dynamic, ever-moving ocean of air that surrounds our world, subtly shaping the light from distant suns before it reaches your eyes. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.